What's up? I've got some exciting stuff to do today. Heading to the Cincinnati Zoo, which should be pretty awesome. I don't think I've been there since I was little. I'm taking my niece there, so that should be cool. Really want to go because I haven't been there since, definitely before Harambe died. I want to go check out the new gorilla enclosure they've got and basically just see what else has changed since I've been there since I was little. So let's go check out some of the footage from when I was there. When we first arrived, we stood in what seemed like an endlessly long line, baking in the hot sun as we wiped beads of sweat from our forehead. I almost had the thought to turn around and go back home. Luckily, the line moved super fast, and we had tickets faster than I can complain to myself about how long the line was. First up was the Asian elephant, which is an amazingly large and imposing mammal. They live in the southern and southeast Asia, are forest-dwelling, and are herbivores, which basically means an herbivore's diet mainly consists of eating plants, foliage, and other plant material. The zoo has a conservation effort through the International Elephant Foundation to help ensure that elephants are cared for properly. The giraffes at the zoo can be an eye-opening experience, as they are one of the few animals that you can see up close and hand feed. They have 2 new giraffes that were born last year in 2016. They were frolicking around and providing plenty of entertainment for the crowds. They also had a few adults that seemed more interested in eating than doing anything else. The giraffe originated from the African savanna in southern Kenya and Tanzania. They're also one of the tallest animals in the world. They can grow up to a height of 13 to 17 feet and live around 13 years. After leaving the giraffe exhibit, we came across a small enclosure with plenty of flamingos. We were entertained with the alpha of the group, who flipped his head back and forth to show off that he was the leader. The flamingos like to nest in colonies that can run into the thousands. Their habitat consists of shallow, salty lakes and lagoons in southwest Europe and southern Africa. As we were wandering around figuring out what we were going to see before we went back to check out the cheetah show, we stopped at the lion exhibit and watched them lounge around in the shade as they tried to keep cool. There was a slew of other animals combined into a single exhibit, like the African antelope, ostriches, gazelles, and wildebeests. As we headed back to check out our first show of the day, we stopped by the painted dogs, which are a species that are native to the sub-Saharan Africa. Their diet consists of eating antelope, warthogs, and other small animals. They live and work in groups, and this is how they survive the harsh sub-Saharan climate. They built suspense by bringing out some other animals before bringing out the big guns. I don't have it on video, but they brought out a humongous porcupine, a rescue dog that performed some tricks, and some sort of pig that was quite intelligent and could perform the same tricks as the dog. The cheetahs are fast. They can reach up to 70 miles per hour over a short distance. The cheetah show was interesting. The stands were packed full of people. They even had to put up a rope to prevent more people from trying to cram into the stands. After the show, we stopped by a few more exhibits on our way to grab lunch. We saw a lazy black bear just lounging around, a black rhinoceros just trying to keep cool, and some zebras just hanging out. We stopped by an interesting Florida biodiversity exhibit, which had plenty of fish, turtles, and even the occasional python, which basically had all the animals and mammals that you would find in Florida. As we left the Florida exhibit, we came across a Komodo dragon. It's a large species of lizard found on the Indonesian islands. They ambush and eat prey, including invertebrates, birds, and other mammals. The lowland gorilla exhibit was on the top of my list. Ever since Harambe died, it was nice to check out all the changes that they made to the enclosure and to the exhibit. The gorilla spends most of its day eating plants to maintain its size, while the silverback leads a troop of gorillas and has the strength of up to 8 men. The Cincinnati Zoo has a conservation program dedicated to the gorilla conservation effort. We stopped by to check out the snow leopards. They are an elusive animal that live mostly in mountainous terrain. They are an endangered species with only a few thousand left. With long, thick fur, they are adapted to living in colder climates. Found mostly in and around the Indian Himalayas, they are solitary animals that like to live and hunt alone. The white tiger is a variant of the Bengal tiger. They can be found in southern and eastern Asia. Predominantly, they can be found in and around India. Siegfried and Roy are one of the main entertainers that have used white tigers in their show. And they've also bred them. Most of the white tigers found in captivity are the result of inbreeding, and they can also show signs of genetic defects. We made a quick trip past Monkey Island, where we saw the Japanese snow monkeys before heading to the reptile house. We stopped by one of the oldest buildings at the zoo, the reptile house. It was built in 1875 when the park first opened. When you visit this building, there are plenty of reptile species to check out, everything from the harmless to the poisonous. They had Chinese alligators, king cobras, green tree pythons, a couple different types of vipers, different lizards, salamanders, just all kinds of different interesting and amazing reptiles. As we walk towards the train to take a relaxing ride, we walk through the gibbons exhibit. They are some crazy, talkative monkeys. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but the Saimang are very vocal creatures. They make this loud and resonating call or song from their large sac located around their throat, which inflates to make this loud sound. They are primarily found in Malaysia and Sumatra. They are a very exuberant monkey, bouncing around their super tall monkey bar-like setup. High up there, they are a wonder to watch as they vocalize the calls to each other. The line for the train was crazy long. I think we waited for the train to come around 3 times before we even got on the ride. Unfortunately, the ride was super short, or so it felt. We passed a few of the exhibits and went around this pond that had plenty of ducks. In the end, I think we saw more people at the crosswalks than we did animals in the exhibits. But overall, once we were on the train and riding around, it was quite comfortable and kind of relaxing. We walked through the birdhouse, and it had a wide variety of different birds, from golden parakeets to crested aculets to even the scarlet ibis. There were different types of songbirds, parrots, and other types of birds. Most of these birds eat fruits, nuts, and berries. There were plenty of birds to see, but one of the interesting things to note as we walked in was how hot and muggy it was. I don't know if they don't have an air conditioning or what, but in the summer it was kind of unbearable. As we made our way through the birdhouse, we came across the king penguin, a large species of penguin second only to the emperor penguin. They are found in the South Atlantic, and they like to eat small fish and squid, but mostly fish. The smaller ones entertain the kids by diving in front of the glass and showing off their swimming ability. We wandered through the gift shop to soak in the air conditioning and to rest for a bit. We definitely tried not to buy any little trinkets. Once we left the gift shop, we stopped by the canyon area, where we checked out the camel, the capybara, the warthog, and some other weird animal that I didn't know the name of. The camel was our first stop. He's a silly fellow that can survive without drinking water for months at a time. They are just made for the desert life. They can store their energy in rich fats and 2 humps on its back. The other animals consisted of a mystery animal that I just don't remember the name of, a capybara, and a warthog. They were all chilling out, entertaining themselves, or eating. Our final area or exhibit that we wanted to check out was the night hunters, which included ocelots, clouded leopards, vampire bats, the fossa, bear cats, sand cats, a few other cats, and other animals that hunt at night. Overall, it was a nice learning experience and would make a great adventure for any age.